Good morning, Pilipinas. Welcome to the Teacher's Voice. This show aims to give teachers the opportunity to talk on air about their unforgettable journey and thrilling adventures, as well as share their splendid wisdom to inspire and give hope to our listeners and viewers. This show is aired by the Philippine Las Vegas radio station from the heart of Las Vegas every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Sunday in the Philippines at 9 o'clock in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, these are my co-hosts. Sir Marvin Cadornicara, Teacher
Hello.
Marvin, and Teacher Pasita Ross. They both from New
Hi.
York
Wait.
City. Right? That's Ma'am Pasita Ross. And of course, one of your co-hosts, Judilyn F. Cañete. And we would like to extend our greetings to you guys. And Ma'am Pasita Ross, before you will introduce our guest tonight, kamusta kamo dira sa New York?
Oh, thank you for asking. Okay, kami dito. We're doing well. The cold weather isn't really that cold. There is rain, so it's also good. It's a blessing from God. And
Yes.
the family is fine. We are all fine. Thank God for all of these blessings.
Perfect. That's so cool. Okay, Teacher Marvin, kamusta ang teaching dyan?
So teaching in New York is still as challenging and as rewarding as it is. We're supposed to have a field trip to New Jersey, but
Oh,
because of the cold weather, we have to cancel it. So the trip has been canceled twice because
already.
it rains on and off, and
That's true.
the weather is just getting so more unpredictable.
I
So that's why. But still, we have to go to school for the very reason that we are teachers.
to go to
Of
work.
course. Teaching in New York is challenging and rewarding, as
At the
the
same
Teacher
time.
Marvin said. Yes.
That's
Here
correct.
in the Philippines is
Yeah.
still very hot.
Mm.
And a lot of people having flu in here.
Oh, no.
If it is not
Mhm.
flu, you know what? Mapaos ka dito.
Sore throat.
Oo. At
That's
saka
right.
nag-develop dito ang mga, alam mo yun, mga cough, ang mga iba-iba ang aming, that we are experiencing health-wise.
Oh,
But
my.
still okay kung if you have air condition at home, fine ka.
Okay lang.
Pero pag doon ka na sa labas, punta ka na sa SM or Gaisano or sa Ayala, pang refresh lang sa cold.
Yeah.
And this time, Teacher Pasit, we have a comeback guest.
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
is his second time because iba na naman ito na journey ng ating kaibigan. And Ma'am Pasita Ross,
Yeah.
ikaw na naman ang
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We're really excited having our former guest, a very precious guest, for the second time around kasi marami siyang share. I'm sure something new and something more inspiring for all of our listeners and viewers. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are very, very happy and pleased to again present to you Dr. Reynand Dumala-on as our special guest for tonight. As we all have said before, but just to refresh your memories, people, he is a globally experienced educator from Europe, the United States, and Asia Pacific. His expertise is in natural and physical sciences. He holds teaching credentials in the UK, United Kingdom, the USA, Canada, and the Philippines. And he is very passionate about STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And in his teaching career and personal life, he just follows the intersection of science, faith, and religion that he has to explain to us later. Now, with a versatile research and language instruction background, Dr. Reynand demonstrates remarkable adaptability and cross-cultural skills. He's currently pursuing a PhD in holistic science education at the University of Auckland in New Zealand. He also holds a prestigious school management and leadership certification from where else? Harvard University here in Massachusetts. And he has presented quite a few research overseas, underlining his commitment to excellence in education and research work. Now, what else can this man not do? Aren't we all envious? Yes, and it's our pride to welcome him again, Dr. Reynand Dumala-on, to the Teacher's Voice. Kumusta, sir?
Welcome.
Kamusta, si New Zealand boy?
Yeah, thank you very much, Tita Pasit and Sir Marvin. It's good to see you again, even though it's virtual. And Ma'am Jude, thank you as well. Thank you for your time. Yes, yeah, I'm currently in New Zealand. Mailonggo ko, matagal.
Pwede.
Pwede.
Dr. Reynand, kung
Yes.
ikaw versatile, kami ang may
Ganit man.
Ilocos, Cebuano. Lahat okay.
Right.
Ikaw
right.
na. Doc, kamusta ang New Zealand dyan? Maginaw din.
Right now it's October in New Zealand, so we're heading to summer. So winter time in New York is summertime in New Zealand. So
It's
it's
the
really
opposite.
opposite because we are in the southern hemisphere.
Correct.
So it's quite warm right now. Yes, quite hot, and you need to wear sunscreen because of the intensity of light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Malapit
Pero
kami
kamusta?
sa ozone.
Kamusta ang weather mag-summer dyan sa New Zealand compare sa Philippines?
Oh, in the Philippines, it's really hot. As you said earlier, it's just hot there. So,
Okay.
but here,
Yeah.
it's still hot, but not quite. Around 25 degrees to 30 degrees summertime.
Okay.
But then, because New Zealand has two islands, the North and South Island, it gives you option. If you want to stay in a kind of tropical or hot region, you stay in North Island, Auckland in my place. But if you want to be in the wintry, snowy all the time place, you go to the Southern Island. Yeah.
Pero Dr. Reynand, na-intriga ako kung bakit. Tell us about your teaching journey na naman sa New Zealand.
Oh yeah, right now I'm in my second year of my 4 years of, this is a pure research PhD here at the University of Auckland. So I don't do exams or no classes or something. It's a pure research in the faculty. So I'm focusing right now on holistic science education. My research is grounded on anthroposophy, which developed by Dr. Steiner back in Germany a century ago. Anthroposophy is a spiritual philosophy. That means that it is the non-atomic, non-physical, because we are made of atom, right, in science. According to this anthroposophy is simply, it's also known as wisdom of man. Anthro means man, Sophia means wisdom. So anthroposophy is a spiritual philosophy that says that it is we came from a non-atomic reality. There is some sort of non-material, non-physical, non-atomic realm out there, commonly known as spiritual realm. that caused the rise of this atomic physical universe where we are in right now. It makes sense if you are lensing from quantum physics, or from if you still remember Big Bang, we came from a single point of light, and then the universe expanded until we came to being. But this anthroposophy said that there is this non-material, non-atomic that caused this our reality. So if you're a Christian, it makes sense as well, right? You know what I mean.
Thank you for that, Dr. Reynand. Tita Paset and Tito Marvin, this 1 hour show is not enough today. Ladies and gentlemen, we will open our questions first to Dr. Marvin Cadornicara. Question, Dr. Marvin.
Of course, first of all, it's always a welcome treat for the Teacher Voice to have as guest somebody brilliant like as Dr. Reynand, and especially for me. No, I actually hold to a high esteem educators who are passionate about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But in your case, you extended that passion even more, because you are looking into and you are being passionate about the intersections of science, faith, and religion, which is quite very, very interesting to all of us. Doc, I want to know what aspects of life or pedagogy or maybe knowledge where we can find science, faith, and religion specifically intersect.
Right. Thank you, sir. It's a good question. In fact, in fact, your question was also answered in my chapter 1 of my thesis. So
great.
Firstly,
okay.
Firstly,
Tita Paset, excuse me, Sir Sir Reynand. Tita Paset, you know that we have our spiritual man in here, Dr. Marvin. And here we have the science passionate man in here. Tayo, Tita Paset, ano na lang?
Tagasunod.
Follower.
Follow.
Pero may iki-question din ako mamaya. Oh, sige, answer, Dr. Reynand.
Continue, please.
Right. Yes. So firstly, I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic. So when I was still young, so I was really intrigued about the universe, because there must be, I keep on saying to myself, there must be really a beginning. It's impossible that there is none. Like for example, in Newton's laws, the first law of motion, that object will keep in motion unless there's an external force, or otherwise will stay at rest. So there's a philosophical question: if something is in motion, then who or what caused the motion? So the same thing with the Big Bang. If there is an expansion of the universe, what caused the expansion? It's impossible. Daw parang ganito lang, parang may baril. Imposibleng lalabas yung tawag doon, lalabas yung bullet na walang trigger. There must be a beginning. There must be a trigger. So I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic. So and then because I am very inclined as well in the Christian concept, being a Catholic. But then I do science. I do Charles Darwin's natural selection. I do Big Bang. I teach Big Bang. At the same time, I'm a Christian. So I said to myself, I need to reconcile these realities, these concepts. It's impossible that. Kasi minsan pa yung nagtatanong sa akin ng mga estudyante, so which is true, the Big Bang, the beginning of this universe, or the 6 days of creation? So that could be confusing. So hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin mo na, di ba, mahirap sagutin. Mahirap sagutin kasi
it's very
key. Yeah, exactly. Kasi may raming nagtatanong sa akin na saan ba talagang totoo, ang 6th day of creation o the natural selection or the Big Bang? So I said, as a teacher, I've been teaching for 16 years in different places across the globe. So I said, there must be something that I can reconcile. So I came across with this anthroposophy. So, and it's very interesting because this is technically intersecting, bridging the gap between spiritual reality and science. So in anthroposophy, we are utilizing the depth of science to understand the spiritual realm. So actually, you can use different lenses. You can use quantum physics or psychology or consciousness of the mind. But in my case, I'm lensing anthroposophy. And then plus I'm in the science education. I'm a science teacher. There is a special school around more than 1,000 schools across the globe that is embracing this kind of philosophy. So I need to go to that school to study how they reconcile spiritual realm and the teaching of science. But anyway, so that's my interest because I am a Christian and I do science as well. And it appears to me from my literature that science and religion or faith are not in conflict. In fact, they complement each other. It's just that the same thing as apple and orange. You cannot simply compare orange and apple because they are simply distinct with specific distinct personality. So it appears to me that science, because if we understand science, science is it's a method of it's a method based on observation, five senses, and measurement. We measure atom. So science is just within the concept of measurement and observation. If you cannot observe something, science will debunk it. Science will ignore it, will reject it, because science is based on observation. For example, the concept of angels and heaven, science will not agree that they exist because it's not observable. So science will debunk the existence of those realities. However, I notice as well that religion goes beyond or transcends beyond science. So religion for me, or by the way, spirituality has a different definition in my research. Spirituality is just a sense or a belief system of interconnectedness to yourself, to the natural world, and a belief that there is some powerful mind out there, not essentially the word God. You can use a different term, but it's just a general term, spirituality. And religion is our practice of reality. So that means you can still be spiritual, but not religious. But you can still be religious, but not spiritual. Because spirituality is just your belief system that there is a powerful mind out there that caused everything. And we are interconnected. But Catholicism or Christianity or Buddhism or you know, the Muslim society, those are the physical manifestations of their practice of their spiritual belief system. So anyway, because science is based on observation and measurement, and spirituality cannot be measured by science because it cannot be observed. Like for example, a specific example, you can see this mouse as color black. You see it's black because you observe it using your eyes, using your five senses. But what about love? L-O-V-E. Yeah, love. Yeah. Can you study love? Can you measure love? Love itself, love alone. Love, if you're going to ask, where is love? Yeah, where is love? Yeah, where is love? So it's difficult to measure, and it's impossible to measure love. But because it's something in our mind, but it can be manifested. Love can be manifested in a physical sense, in an atomic sense. That's the time science, what do you call that? Science comes in, because science is measurable. But love alone, like for example, love alone cannot be measured by science. It's not measurable.
Abstract.
Yeah, abstract. Yes, that's a good idea. Abstract. So yeah, it's quite difficult. Sorry, but I'm trying my best to explain it. But again, spiritual is not made of atom. But science is atomic. Doon lang talaga tutok ang siyensya sa measurement at what do you call that, and observation. That being said, dahil Christian din ako, and then maraming mga teaching sa science na somehow medyo at first glance quite conflicting sa religion or faith. Halimbawa, Charles Darwin's theory, the Big Bang. But I don't believe that they are, and based on my literature, it says that they don't really conflicting to each other. It's just that we only do not fully understand them. In fact, science is caused by this non-material spiritual essence. That's why I came to this anthroposophy. It's quite deep, sorry. It's really tough I myself sometimes, really difficult to explain, because how can you explain and let somebody understand something that does not exist or cannot be observed? It's like, explain to me kung anong mukha ng aswang. Wait, I haven't seen aswang yet. So aswang cannot be studied by science because it cannot be observed. So anyway, the point here is,
Dr. Reynand, I will cut you off first, because this is very interesting. Because what you are saying, that Dr. Steiner is saying that our human intellect human intellect has the ability to contact spiritual worlds. That is what you are saying.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Dr. Steiner, in the anthroposophy, sabi niya na mayroong non-atomic spiritual entity or realm doon na nag-cause ng ating existence, na tayong existence, ito yung made of atom. Kung babalikan ko ang learning ko sa quantum physics, it really makes sense. Kasi sa quantum physics, it says that at the quantum realm, we used to know that we are made of atoms. So recently, there's a theory of string theory. String theory is, tayo daw ay made of a dancing light. It's like parang collapsed version of light tayo. Remember Einstein equation, E is equal to mc squared. If you're going to transpose the equation, you can actually create mass out of energy, and energy itself is not made of atom. Oh my gosh, we're doing physics now. So ang ibig kong sabihin is, yun ang paniniwala niya. Ito yung belief system ni Steiner, na may isang non-atomic na nag-cause ng ating pagkatao dito. Pero anong mga...
It's true, Dr. Reynand. That is true.
From the Christian lens, yeah, we will agree. From the Christian lens, we will agree. We talk about God, Jesus, and so on. Yeah, from the Christian lens. But of course, from the scientific community, they will disagree. They will disagree. How can you prove that we came from the spiritual reality? It's not possible to prove. Tama naman, it's not possible to prove. But then, dahil ito is isang filosofiya. When you speak of philosophy, it's just a kind of wisdom. It's a knowledge.
Correct. In knowledge.
And then, marami na itong application sa pharmacy, sa medicine, may mga application itong anthroposophy. May application din sa agriculture. So nakafocus ako ngayon sa education, specifically science education.
Okay. So my question is, Dr. Reynand, I'm so sorry kasi we need to, talk about anthroposophy in terms of education, kasi we are trying to cater to our listeners, mga educators. No, I am thinking your research is rather new, but this philosophy has been there for about 100 years almost. Now, ang tanong ko ay, so far from your literature, from your readings, from what you've learned from experts in the field, how do you think is this new philosophy going to impact education for for the better. Kasi ngayon ang mga estudyante natin, they're having so many challenges and all that. Our education system ay of course, it's always imperfect, pero some people claim that our education systems around the world are getting poorer and poorer. So how do you think does this philosophy,
Anthroposophy, yes.
philosophy is going to impact education? Lalo na, let's go down to kahit na mga high school level.
Okay.
High school
Sa,
level.
yes.
Yeah. Would you please?
Sa high school level, or even elementary kindergarten,
Yeah.
yung conventional science teaching is, okay, pag magturo ka, may lecture, may experiment sa lab.
Yeah.
Pero sa anthroposophy, that's why I'm still in my second year and then magko-collect pa ako ng data kasi I need to fully understand them.
Yes.
But based on my literature, for example, they teach science and then in teaching science, halimbawa, if you teach gravity, in 1 hour, tapos na yung gravity, na yun. Pero at Steiner School, that embraces this philosophy, it takes several weeks to complete a specific lesson. Kasi they address the cognitive side.
Okay.
At the same time, they address the emotional aspect and the spiritual aspect because they see the child as a whole. So, ang lesson planning is holistic as well.
Yeah.
How it is being done from my literature says that well, they still teach concept, about gravity. They still
of course.
The mathematics behind it, but then there are some accessorial activities like going outside and mapping this concept outside, and then they allow students to play. They allow students to connect to the nature because it is believed that we are connected to the nature. We came from nature. Well, we came from dust, and to dust we shall return. We are made of carbon. That makes sense in science. So, so they are not bounded. They are not isolated in a four-wall classroom, but the four-wall classroom is just one of the many places they go. So, they stay in the classroom for the lecture. They go out. They connect to nature. They engage with nature. They design activities related to nature. And in order for the child to connect that concept to nature, and then there are some activities that they allow students to dance and even to sing and to do painting. So painting is an artistic expression of someone else's idea or mind. So if you're talking about gravity, then maraming mga activities, hindi lang lecture, hindi lang lab experiment, but sobrang marami. May mga painting style, parang marami talagang mga activities kaya matagal siya. Kasi they want to address the different dimensions of the child. So ang anthroposophy nagsasabi na we are interconnected. We are one with our own self to the world. We are one.
No.
Yun ang sinasabi sa anthroposophy.
Are there no schools that are totally in practice with this philosophy or have embraced the philosophy so that yung curriculum nila at saka yung pedagogical practices nila all are around this philosophy? Do you know of any of those schools existing now worldwide? Marami ka ng pinuntahang lugar eh. What do you think?
To be honest, sa karanasan ko sa states, halimbawa, sa conventional public schools sa states, I understand in the recent years, may mga push na ngayon ang Department of Education related to holistic science education, but not quite really. Medyo may degree of hesitancy pa kasi hindi pa well-trained.
All right.
Even sa UK, sa public system nila, pareho lang sa states. Halos pareho lang din sa Pilipinas. Sa Taiwan naman, ganun din, American-based mode pa rin sila or British kind of.
Right.
May mga forest schools akong naririnig na outdoor kasi isa sa mga elements ng anthroposophy in teaching science,
nature.
Anthroposophical science teaching is nature-based instruction. So, isa lang yan sa marami. Forest school, is also practicing nature-based, pero hindi pa ganun kasikat ang
Okay.
forest school and medyo hesitant pang maraming tao. Ano yung forest school na yan? Parang something like that. Steiner School, we got around 1,600 around the world, I think, different continents. Pero ang Steiner School is hindi pa ganun ka sikat din kasi
Okay.
private school sila and
Mm.
then ang public school system pa rin is highly cognitive and compartmentalized, focus on, you know what I mean? Kung titingnan mo sa more on the concept, highly conceptual pa
On the
rin
head,
ang,
yeah. It's all the mind.
Okay, Sir
although marami nang
Marvin,
push.
I'm sorry. Sir Marvin,
A science
question?
teacher as well.
Well, actually, I am interested to know, based on Dr. Reynand's experience and also your reading as you collect data about anthroposophy. If I am not mistaken, we mentioned about it's being holistic kind of science education. Is it right, Dr. Reynand, right? So when we talk about holistic science education, that would include, as much as possible, all of the aspects of the person, like maybe the culture is there, the emotion is there, maybe their religious belief in there, and so on. In contrast with purely scientific education or purely science, which is basically empirical, di po ba? So when in teaching and then learning science, what we see based on empirical practices is what it is, and nobody can claim that it is not what it is, because this is how we see it based on results. But what if a person would not accept a scientific principle or concept simply because his emotion or his belief embedded in his religion or his culture would not accept it? So is there a segue by which anthroposophy would simply accept that, or just condone it, or how do we put the segue into being holistic, yet admit that there
Yes.
at some point there will be non-acceptance?
Right. Yeah. Ang daming tanong. Okay, I'll try my best. So, yes, una-una, I find myself quite deeply into the Christian world as well, while doing science. But to be honest, I don't really see any conflict in my, in my belief system and the religious aspect, and then sa science. Paano ko nasabi yun? Like, halimbawa, sige, isa-isahin natin. Tapos papunta tayo sa anthroposophy. Halimbawa, sa Sixth Day of Creation, at saka sa Big Bang. Well, tama nga naman. Kasi Sixth Day of Creation is like, this is quite controversial, sorry. To be honest, this is quite controversial. But what I'm trying to say is, naka-attend ako kasi ng isang lecture ng isang physics professor from MIT. And then he able to calculate 13.8 billion years of the Big Bang and fit to Sixth Day of Creation. It's really interesting. I don't know how to do that mathematics, but he able to, and that's MIT. Hindi naman pwedeng gawa-gawa lang yun. So that's another thing. Sa Charles Darwin natural selection, Charles theory of
Natural selection.
It says that I'm not really sure kung saan ang galing yung salitang we came from apes, although I used to say that term as well. But kung balikan mo yung libro, what is being emphasized there is we share similarities, but not essentially we have similarities. Yun ang sinasabi doon. We share similarities, but not 100% being said or absolutely said that, oh, we really came from that. No, because no one can prove it. No one can prove it. That's why it remains a theory. Sixth Day of Creation naman, sa pananaw ko lang, no? But this is quite controversial because we are coming from different denomination. But I don't want to discuss further on this one. But from my logical sense is, if the sun was created on the third day, then how we can how the first day of creation is being counted. Because I mean, we count the 1 day is 24 hours based on the sun set and rises. So if you go back to the biblical text, the sun was created on the third day according to the Bible. So kung sa third day pa siya ginawa, paano measure ang araw sa unang araw? Anong basihan? That's the baseline. Kung if we base the first day of creation as the first day as 24 hours based on the sun, pero nasa third day ginawa ang sun eh. Parang na-confuse ako tuloy doon, so something like that. Pero anyway, I'm not going to talk further about that because it's kind of controversial. But anyway, asan na ba tayo? So yeah, for my end, I don't really find significant conflict in terms of my understanding of science and faith. In fact, to be honest to you all, the more I understand science, the more I understand that there is really a spiritual thing out there that really very powerful. I think people should really go to the depth of science to fully understand. Yung mga nagsasabi na there's no God or something powerful mind there, baka hindi nyo lang talaga nintindihan ng science. Yeah, I think people should really study science a lot. From my personal experience, the more I study biology, chemistry, and physics, the more I understand the overwhelming how this can happen. Humans cannot do this. This is impossible. Yeah. So it gives me an overwhelming thought that baka meron nga talaga. Kasi paano ito nagawa?
Mayroon talagang ano? Na
Baka
mayroon
meron talagang
Powerful,
baka meron talagang God, powerful
creator.
Kasi ang salitang God is a Christian word, so I simply use the term powerful mind para neutral siya. But then, sa akin naman is the more I study science, the more I can really say to myself na, oh wow, there is parang degree of awe na, oh my gosh, paano ito nangyari? This is very impossible, but possible. So mayroon ba talagang Diyos? Parang ganun, parang doon ang patutungo.
Correct. So yun ang siguro ang na-interest mo, why did you enroll on this? But let's go to this question. Okay, my question is this. You became once a teacher and you manage a class in high school, even elementary. And you now doing research work. So tell us about your journey, Doctor, about your journey as a researcher in writing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Collecting data as a researcher. Please tell us about this. That will inspire also other teachers, educators, that when they will be in this situation, even sa research work nila sa thesis, sa masteral, sa doctoral manila, you can inspire them. So what is your journey in your writing, collecting data, and tell us about the difference of being a classroom manager and now move to become a researcher.
Yeah, I'm going to respond to that. But very quickly, nakalimutan ko yata kay Sir Marvin kanina. Yung anthroposophy, isa sa mga contribution niya sa science education is the holistic design of lesson planning and curriculum. So I look forward to work with the Ministry of Education in the future, or maybe the Department of Education of the Philippines, or Ministry of Education in New Zealand, or in the United States, or in Europe. But kasi iba siya sa nakasanayan nating pagtuturo. Iba talaga siya kasi pumunta ko sa school, I see people, the students really enjoying, and nasa labas lang sila naglalaro, but then kasama ng lesson planning. And then maraming ginagawa silang artistic na related din sa klase, sa science specifically. And then sa Steiner School, gumagawa sila ng libro nila, sariling libro. Sa atin, bumibili tayo ng libro, ng aklat, science book, tapos okay, this is your reference, ganon. sila, yung mga estudyante gumagawa mismo ng sarili nilang science book. Lahat ng nalalearn nila outside or inside the classroom, nilalagay nila sa book nila. So, parang yung textbook nila na gawa nila, yun ang manifestation ng kanilang learning. So, this is interesting kasi bumibili kami ng libro sa National Bookstore, but they create their own book. So, that's a big thing, I said, because, at napakaganda sila mag-draw. It's really good. They are painters. So, and then another thing na notice sa Steiner School is, during the first few years, elementary, dinidevelop nila yung social and emotional skills ng bata. And then sa later years, like middle school, high school, doon na yung concept, doon na yung mathematics, yung depth of math, science, language, etc. It makes sense to me kasi it doesn't mean you are the genius ka sa science, you are also good in your emotion. And it is really necessary to develop the emotional aspect of man kasi according to Einstein, we have two realities, two properties. The physical reality, which is made of atom, and the spiritual reality, based on the equation of Einstein, which is E is mc squared. May isang published data from the University of Oxford that says that our consciousness, our mind, which is an abstract, ano bang ibig sabihin ng consciousness? Yung we have the capacity to reflect on everything we do, and we have the capacity to rationalize everything we do, unlike the animals. According to this published, it's a peer-reviewed from the University of Oxford, our mind or consciousness is the spiritual realm. And then if we die, it continues to the spiritual verse or thing. Like, yung mind natin ngayon, kahit mag-separate yan sa katawan natin, it still continues to the next life, I don't know, doon. So hindi siya talaga nawawala. Parang continuous siya. And spirituality is also associated with wave. Basta ganun, mahabang kwento. Sobrang mahirap i-explain, to be honest. Nahirapan din ako minsan. Kasi I'm trying to explain a very layman's term. But back to you, Ma'am Jude. Asa na yung tanong mo?
Your journey as a researcher.
Journey, it's really difficult. So I'm going to stay in the faculty for 4 years doing all research. I can, parang ma-relate ko siya sa Sorrowful Mystery. Parang ang hirap. Mas gusto ko pang bumalik ng South Carolina or magturo full-time sa New York. It's really difficult. It's a different thing.
Bakit difficult?
I feel that my brain is bleeding. Kasi ang hirap talaga. Kasi it requires a lot of thinking. I'm just sitting here for 8 hours thinking, and writing and reading. Right. It's really different nung naranasan ko back in the Philippines. This is iba talaga siya. Well, I expect kasi siyempre PhD ito at University of Oakland is highly ranked sa buong mundo. So mataas yung expectation. Pero you know what? Ang first year mo dito is tinatawag na probationary year. Either you go or not. So during my first year, gumawa ako ng proposal ko. They were not happy of my proposal. So, binigyan ako ng 6-month extension. So, umabot ako ng 18 months sa paggawalan ng 3 chapters ng proposal ko. I remember when I was in the Philippines, I only spent 3 months for my proposal. So, it's really different here. So, ngayon, 18 months. After 18 months, may comments pa rin. Kailan nyo ako titigilan ng comments nyo? Kasi comments are taking forever. Kailan ba kaya matatapos tong comments na ito, sabi ko. So revise hanggang there are times na nakakapagod. At saka I'm trying to work as well because I need to pay my bills. So talagang mahirap siya. Pero so far, na-survive ko naman. I was from a PhD student, I was confirmed as a PhD candidate for a candidacy. Pero right now I am doing my ethics application kasi may mga ethics, human ethics, chuchu. So they need to approve that, and then mahabang forms yun, parang 30 pages. And then magsasubmit ako next week. Hopefully they approve it. Otherwise babalik, revise na naman hanggang sa but I'm expecting na magsa-start ako ng collection ko dito sa Oakland next year of February. Magsa-stay ako sa Steiner School ng half year, and then I will follow the story of the science teachers as well, doing anthroposophical science education, because hindi ko nga alam kung paano nila gawin yon. Although may mga ideas ako using my literature, but then literature yon. Kailangan talaga ng first-hand experience, ethnographic study. Parang samahan ko sila sa paglalakbay nila for 6 months, half year pala, kung paano nila ginawa yon, yung anthroposophical na yon. So at the end, yun nga, how it looks like and feels like a holistic science education at Steiner School based on anthroposophy, spiritual reality that caused this material world. And then hopefully I can also share and integrate this idea to the public sector, to the public education system. Kasi so far yung scores, yung achievement ng mga bata naman sa Steiner School is mas mataas pa ikumpara sa typical public school system students dito. So although to be honest, it is anchored ang anthroposophy sa Christianity kasi Kristiyano din si Steiner. Kaso medyo controversial ang pagiging Kristiyano always sa public sector kasi yun nga, 'di ba? Separation of, you know what I mean, something like that. But then
So Dr. Reynand, I want to ask another one. What is your journey before as a researcher? What did you do
I was
to
in
be
Taiwan.
enrolled?
I was in Taiwan. I work. I took advanced physics or AP physics sa international school sa Taiwan, and then I spent for more than 2 years there. Then I received an email from my supervisors from the university that they are giving me a full admission to conduct research, PhD research, for 4 years. So dahil syempre, hindi naman galing, we are farmers. We came, sa mahirap na pamilya, farmers, saka lang, ganun, tinda sa lipunan, sa tawag dito, sa merkado. We were selling, saging before. You know what I mean? Sa Kaiwat, ang hirap talaga ng buhay doon. Yeah, and no one in my family na nag-travel overseas to do PhD from a highly ranked university. This is the New Zealand's #1 university, and my faculty is, I think, in the top 20-ish in the world. So it's also an honor for me na galing sa sakahan na wala pa nakapunta ng overseas. I took the opportunity. But before that, I was in Taiwan teaching physics. And then before Taiwan, yun nga, I was in the UK, first in Kansas States, then dito. So it's really a long journey, and it's not easy to do PhD. I will tell this sa mga gusto mag-PhD, especially overseas like this. I think aside from being financially prepared, they must be really prepared of the ups and downs. Kasi there are times na may feeling ako na feeling ko ang bobo ko sa faculty. May tinatawag doon na syndrome, I forgot the term.
Yeah.
Syndrome. Kasi parang I still have a lot of things to learn. Kasi
Correct.
parang yung mga lecturers dito, yung mga supervisors mo, parang andun sila na, oh my gosh, I thought okay lang, pero grabe pala, yung mga hindi ko naasahan.
You are saying that you are part of the faculty, right?
I am one of the staff sa faculty. Pag PhD ka dito, you are considered as staff. You're one of the staff members.
Okay. All right. So you are not in you are not teaching right now, but you are a full student,
Researcher.
research student.
Mhm.
Oh,
Researcher. Pero nagpa-part-time din
researcher.
ako sa researcher. Nagpa-part-time din ako sa uni, nag-exam sa supervisor, nagbibigay ng mga exam sa mga undergrad and master's students. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
So,
This is so interesting. Your journey as a teacher and become a researcher. Now it's commendable. It's very, very commendable, right?
mahirap siya. Sobrang hirap. I don't really recommend this. But ang
Nandyan
masuggest ko
ka
lang
na
kung
eh.
andito na ako, but
You cannot
pero
go back.
I really learned a lot, and it
Of
will
course.
accelerate me a lot kasi it's a different level. Pero
Yeah.
ang masuggest ko sa mga taong gusto din mag-PhD, especially overseas, yung thesis nila ay talaga yung gusto-gusto nila. Kasi there are times na
Right.
mapapagod pa. There are times na ayoko na. There are times nag-isip ako na, oh my gosh, what I'm doing to myself. I want to give up now kasi ang hirap na. That's not making sense. Kasi
Dr. Reynand, I think it is very mahirap for you because the research that you picked is a very, very intellectual, and especially you have to study the doctrines of faith
Yeah,
before you.
it requires a lot of thinking kasi
Oh yeah.
kailangan kong isipin na yun nga, science and faith. Parang, ano yun? Parang I'm trying also to understand the mind of God o kaya nga dito, ang dami kong mga aklat dito. Like, I got the Bible, I got the Steiner book. I also got Spiritual Universe, The Mind of God, the book of Thomas Aquinas. Oh my gosh, yeah, ang dami dito. God and the New Physics. Ewan ko lang. So, it's really painful. It's really painful minsan.
Yeah, your topic is such a rarity, ano? Hindi it's not common to hear people doing study or research in that area. So yeah, I know. Mukhang, as for me now, it's a little bit hard for me to comprehend right now. Although Maria Montessori also advocates, play for the young kids. Ganon din si Piaget. So part of these theories ng mga naunang mga learning theories ng mga naunang mga thinkers are they touch on part of what this new theory you're looking into or philosophy you're looking into is it's there also, pero
Right.
mas deeper yata itong mo yung
Oo. Yeah. Parang minsan mababaliw ako, but I'm also happy and I'm very excited to share to people because it's an opportunity as well to tell people that there is science, but it seems to me that there is also God. And we can use science
to understand
to
God.
help us understand the existence of the Almighty. Because science is based on observation and facts. Facts talaga, based on observation. Hindi siya fake news, facts. And God, for me, God is beyond out there. It's like encompassing. It's encompassing. Parang nakikita ko na ito yung science, but He is
out there.
Like, naisip ko yung light. Light is everywhere. Light is everywhere. So, it's very, very deep, and I'm also happy kasi I can try to bridge to realities the spiritual and science, kaso minsan medyo mahirap lang. And by the way, sa literature ko, nasabi ng isang scientist, in fact, na nasa Amerika yata, I'm not really sure pag MIT. MIT, isa sa mga lecture ko. Isa sa mga reference ko sa MIT na ang science science does not really provide us values or does not teach us moralities. It has no ethical value. We learn physics and chemistry. It's just a pure description of our natural world. For example, we see the sun sets and we see the clouds, different colors, reddish or orange. But physics does not say that it's beautiful. It is there is a belief system inside of us that tells us, that associate to this descriptive phenomena. So according to him, science does not really teach us values or moralities. It's highly descriptive of our reality. But we have this kind of belief system which anchored to our spiritual growth that understands beauty, justice, and love. Sa science, hindi yan tinuturang justice and love.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the spirituality.
Very much. Actually, we don't mind, guys. But I just want to say thank you, Sir Reynand and Sir Marvin and Ma'am Pasit Ross. And we are very grateful that Dr. Reynand Dumala-on is here with us tonight. And he is going to go to Bacolod City.
Yeah, see you there.
So I told him that the red carpet is ready for him.
Dito lang tayo mapadayon, istorya. Yeah.
Rin na lang kami mapadayon, istorya, gid pala sa mga faith, religion, and science.
Hasta maaga.
Pero kailangan may mga panelist ako, Dr. Marvin, may mga panelist ako na mga pastors dito at saka mga priests para ma-enhance pa ang kanyang mga philosophy dito. At baka kay kung ako lang mahuo na lang man ko kay Dr. Reynand, Tita Pasit, hindi na ako mag-dispute kay baka ibigay ko sa mga correct, mas sa Senate pa yan pupunta. But anyway, thank you very much, Sir Reynand and Sir Marvin. If we don't have that much time anymore, but
next time na lang.
Thank you very much, PHLV. Thank you so much, and we are happy that once again we're back here at the Teacher's Voice. Good evening and good morning.
Thank you again, Dr. Reynand.
Thank you, Sir Marvin,
for opening our eyes to this new topic.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma'am Jude, Ate Pasit, and Sir Marvin.
Good luck to everybody. Bye-bye.